If I was to tell you that I liked the movie Jaws, I would be lying to you.
All right, let's just admit it. That didn't happen.
I don't just like the movie, I love it.
By the power invested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
I love it enough that I own 2 copies of it. This 4K 50th anniversary one and this 100th anniversary Blu-ray one.
Whoa!
But let's not waste time talking about physical media. Let's just throw it out there. Jaws is a perfect 10 out of 10 movie in my books. And it's not just a great shark movie, it's the shark movie.
Smile, you son of a...
Everything that came after it was either trying to copy it or parody it, and it has yet to be topped. And that's been a half a century later. Crazy. And why does that work though? It works because this film is built like a machine.
General Kenobi!
Every part, every scene, every line has purpose. There's no fluff, there's no filler, there's just tight storytelling, smart pacing, and pure cinematic craft. And Spielberg shows more control here than most directors show in their whole career. Remember, the shark barely shows up for the first half of the movie. Most of the horror is implied. You fear the shark because you don't see it. And when it finally does break the surface, boom, it lands harder than any CG beast could these days. But what really sets it apart is how smart the writing is. It's not trying to show off. It just works. See, the characters talk like people. They bicker and joke and interrupt each other.
Spear guns, SMG.
What are you, some kind of half-ass astronaut?
And the humor, it's not thrown in there for a cheap gag or laugh. The humor is there to break the tension just enough so that you drop your guard. And that's when the shark strikes. So let's start with the trio. Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw. This is one of those rare cases where the chemistry between actors doesn't feel written. It feels lived in.
Wow!
They aren't playing roles. They are these people. Scheider brings the reluctant leadership. He's the outsider, the mainlander, the straight man, the eyes through which we see this escalating nightmare. Dreyfuss adds some needed edge and levity, the smart guy who's just cocky enough to be likable kind of guy. And then Robert Shaw. Shaw is the secret weapon in this movie. He doesn't enter a scene, he takes over the whole room. His USS Indianapolis monologue, at least to me, remains one of the most chilling moments in movie history. And it's not just a guy telling a story. There's no flashback. There's no effects, just sheer presence. It was perfect. And John Williams. John Williams basically ruined the ocean for everyone, okay? The simple, creeping theme, that primal sound, it's panic in audio form. And the genius is really in the restraint of the use of that piece of music. Williams doesn't overuse it, he saves it. So when it comes, you really feel it. And when it doesn't come and there's silence, you second guess yourself. That tension, that waiting, that's what makes it so terrifying. And the jump scares are not cheap either in Jaws. They're earned. They come after the tension's been pulled so friggin' tight that you could cut glass with it. The head popping out of the boat wreck still gets reactions 50 years later. The town politics though, let's talk about that for a second. The denial, the economic pressure to keep the beaches open. It all feels eerily familiar though. Hello, pandemic decision-making maybe? But anyways, that realism is part of what makes this whole thing stick. You're gonna need a bigger boat. is maybe the most perfectly delivered line in movie history. Not because it's really funny or iconic, but because it's so perfectly timed.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
There's no music playing, there's no dramatic sting. It's just Roy Scheider backing up slowly, completely done with the situation, and it's delivered understated, and it's friggin' unforgettable.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
And honestly, once the Orca really sets sail, the movie kind of shifts into a different gear. It becomes something a little bit more lean, more intense, and kind of strangely intimate, if you want to call it that. 3 men on a creaking boat and a shark that refuses to play fair. But Quint's death, though, is still, at least I think, one of the most brutal, realistic, and haunting moments in the genre. There's no overblown, like, slow motion. There's no stylized, like, hero send-offs. Just a man getting eaten alive, painfully, slowly, and screaming the whole time. And you don't forget that. It was intense. And yet, it's not all horror. The scenes of camaraderie, the drunken storytelling, the scar comparisons, they breathe life into the movie. Spielberg understands that if you care about the people, you care more about the danger. Jaws really is lightning in a bottle. It's a rare summer blockbuster that also happens to be a near flawless film. It changed movies. It built careers. It created the summer movie season that we know. And more importantly, it made an entire generation afraid to go in the water. 50 years later, we still quote this movie. We still flinch during the jump scares. We still hear that music in our heads when we wade out too far from the beach. Jaws doesn't just hold up. It owns the genre it helped invent. And no, we're still not going in the water. Well, there you have it. That's another XP Boost movie rant, Jaws edition. And remember, you'll always need a bigger boat.